we will talk to Mike Wilner, who joins us right now here on Sportsnet tonight with Rob Wong and Josh Goldberg. Mike, of course, the host of Blue Jays Talk, third man in the booth. Mike, great to talk to you for a second straight day. Yesterday, there wasn't really much going on. You bailed us out, and we appreciate you coming on again tonight to talk about this deal. What is your first impressions of Curtis Granderson joining the Toronto Blue Jays?
I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's a big needle mover or anything like that, but I think that he's a useful, very short-term piece. You got to platoon him. He can't hit lefties. Yeah. He walks. He hits for power. He's a fine left fielder, and with Anthony Alford and Teoscar Hernandez on the way up, I can see this as a move to try to get a couple of good months out of Curtis Granderson before those guys are ready.
Do you think he and Pierce are the left field platoon, or do you still think Pierce may end up as the DH if they can somehow find a taker for Morales?
Well, if they can find a taker for Morales, then absolutely Pierce moves into DH, and you find another somebody to platoon with Granderson. But right now, absolutely, it's Pierce and Granderson as your platoon in left field.
When it comes to Granderson, as we just touched on, this is a guy with a lot of pop and can still play some defense. Left field would be a nice spot for him. But, there's never a bad one-year deal. We always talk about that. $5 million seems pretty reasonable for a guy like Curtis Granderson. And obviously today we saw the trade with Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates and Giants, and there's still Lorenzo Cain out there. We've talked a lot about Carlos Gonzalez this offseason. So, I mean, who knows what it would have taken for the Blue Jays to land McCutchen. I'm not going to ask you about that because it doesn't really matter at this point. He's a member of the Giants. But I feel like 1 year, $5 million, I'd be willing to take a gamble on Curtis Granderson on that as opposed to, maybe, well, who knows? They still might land a guy like Carlos Gonzalez. But like you said, it's a fine move, but I feel like, there definitely could be a lot worse moves out there. I guess that's the best thing I'm trying to say here.
Look, I mean, this isn't it. If this was, hey, this is your outfield now, and we got Curtis Granderson and off we go, then yeah, you could say, well, what's going on here? But this is a guy who had an OPS over 800 against right-handed pitching last year, this past season, and they got him for $5 million. There's nothing to be upset with about this deal, and he's also got this reputation of being wonderful in the clubhouse, and maybe that's something that the Blue Jays were looking for too. Obviously, in order for wonderfulness in the clubhouse to really mean anything, you do have to be a productive, regular player, and this guy is a potential 5 or 6 hitter against right-handed pitching as a left fielder. His power plays at Rogers Center. He could hit 30 homers if he's there the whole year, and he may not be there the whole year. Again, he may just be around to let Alford and Teoscar Hernandez and Pompey cook a little more until they're ready. It's fine, but there's got to be somebody else coming.
In terms of the right field situation, should we be looking for a similar type of deal for a player who's probably on the wrong side of 30, a 1 year deal with some incentives to fill that hole? Something similar to what we just saw with Granderson?
Hopefully not. I would hope that they go out and get one legitimate everyday outfielder, or at least someone who's not that on the wrong side of 35 anyway. I'm fine if the next guy they bring in is Carlos Gonzalez, who also needs to be platooned, but who's a definite middle of the order bat and decent outfielder. And if your outfield against righties is Granderson, Pilar, and Cargo, then I'm fine. But you would prefer them still looking at a Lorenzo Cain or trying to bring in someone in a trade. The outfield was such a problem last year. You really don't want to lean on Ezekiel Carrera for much of anything. So the ideal, obviously, is to continue shopping, again, whether it's in free agency or trade, and bring in another outfielder and another starting pitcher with the approximately $15 million that they have left to spend.
I saw in your tweet about the Granderson deal, the name that piqued my interest was Dalton Pompey, and I feel like we haven't really talked about him in a long time. He dealt with the concussions. He was not really a factor. But how much of a factor do you think he is in the Blue Jays' plans for the outfield in 2018 and beyond?
I don't think he's in their plans at all, but I think he can change that. Given the fact that he missed the whole year last year with the concussion and then the knee injuries later on, you just can't count on him or pencil him in or anything. So hopefully he's healthy and he starts in Buffalo, and if he has a really good April and then continues to play well, then he's up and he's contributing. But if he can't stay healthy, or if the fact that he missed an entire year of baseball kind of means that he's got to take a while to shake the rust off, then he's got to take a while to shake the rust off. I mean, they'd love to have him. He's everything they want, right? He's young, he's fast, he's a switch hitter, he's a good defender. He's exactly what the Blue Jays need. He just needs to be on the field showing them that he can do it.